Hi my wonderful friends of the internet. Here I am back with another video for you guys to learn how to make web apps and some small elements in the websites in the easiest possible way. So this is another video which I have done using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. You must have seen in a lot of websites that as you scroll down, you would see this top button in the bottom out here or an arrow mark indicating the top, and once you click on it, it goes to the top and you're back to what you started with. So this is what we are going to be creating, and it's really easy to make. We'll be making that using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Without any further ado, let's jump into the video and learn how to make that simple button. As usual, we'll start by creating a folder in our desktop. Go to new folder and we'll call this scroll btn button. Yeah, this folder has nothing in it. So now we'll open it with code. We want the files, we'll start with the HTML file, so that's easy to make. So index.html. Now we'll put the basic body outline out here using Emmet abbreviation, exclamation, and then the title, scroll button. So first we'll start by creating that button that you saw. We'll say button and we'll give it an ID of, let's say, scroll button, btn. Yeah. And when you click on this button, I want a function to run, so we'll use onClick for that, and the function will be called as top function because you go to the top, so I'll just put it as top function, and we'll call it out here as top. We want some content to be shown there, so we'll use div.title with the class. So, and I thought I'll say coffee, and I'll say div.content, and I've copied some content straight off the Wikipedia. You can use that and you can style your websites and all of that. Now let's save it and open it with live server and see how it looks. Okay, now this is what is there. You have the top button, the title and the text. This is what is so far done out here. Next we'll go to our CSS. This is style.css. First we'll go straight off, link it to our HTML. So we'll say link CSS. The first thing that we want is we want to style the whole body. We'll give it a font family, the font size or something like that. So we'll do body. We'll say font family to be we'll just take it whatever is there. I don't have anything in specific, so you can use whatever you feel comfortable in. And then we'll increase the font size, let's say 30 pixels. Save it. We'll go to our web browser and we'll see, okay, that's huge. Yeah, it's clear, it's clearly visible and all of it. Yeah, now that's nicely done. Next we'll style the button. So we'll do hashtag my button. Oh, we called it scroll button, sorry. So we'll grab that. So first thing is we want the position. We want the position to be in the bottom of the screen, out here. Yeah, so we'll do that first. So we'll say position to be fixed. We don't want it to be changing, so we'll say position fixed. So as you scroll down also it stays there. That's what we wanted to do. And we want the bottom, let's say bottom of 20 pixels. So when you say bottom 20 pixels, so bottom 0 pixels would be right to the bottom of the screen, and 20 pixels would be from the bottom go top 20 pixels. So that's what that is. So once you save it and you go and look at it, you'll be able to see that in the left out here. We wanted to bring it to the right, so it's easier. You have the scroll bar out here as well as a top button, so it's easier to access, and with the mouse it's much easier. Once if it's in the left, you have to go all the way out here, and then it's too much of a work. We want to keep a website comfortable for the users. That's one of the main things, key in any kind of website that you make. Next is, so from the left we'll bring it to the right, so we'll do right of, let's say, 30 pixels. So that would mean that right 0 would mean this end. If you put 30 pixels from the end towards the side, 30 pixels. Yeah, that's what that is. Next, what we are going to be doing is we want the button to be bigger. If you want button to be bigger, we can use width. Also the font size does the same job. So when you increase the font size, what happens is the text also increases. So let's say the font size to be 28 pixels. Yeah, it's big, it's clearly visible and all of that. Next we'll change the background color. Background color, we'll say that to be red, and we'll put the color of the text to be white. Yeah, so it's red and white. Yeah, it's that. And when it comes for a button, it has a border and outline. That's always there. So we'll put the border and outline to be none. And the same goes for outline. So we'll put the outline to be none as well. Okay, now you don't have that side thing, so it's like clearly there. And we put a padding. So we'll say padding of like 10 pixels. So there's like gap on all the sides. And we'll like use a border radius. So we'll say border radius of like 6 or 7 pixels. So you can imagine border radius to be like, on the borders you have circles, and the radius of the circle we put it as 6 pixels. So there's like a curve on the sides. Yeah, that's there. Last but not the least, we want the cursor to change to a pointer. So when you hover over it, we wanted to change it to pointer. So it's like text. So you have the arrow mark, and when you go here, it's a hand kind of symbol. That's a pointer. And when you hover over it, we want the color to change. So we'll say scroll button, hover, sorry, not hash, hover, and we'll change the background color to a darker shade of gray. So we'll do #555. Yeah, that's a darker shade of gray. Okay, when you hover over it, pointer, and it's gray and white. Okay, there's a thing. Now we'll focus on the title, which is the coffee, and the content out here. For the title, we used a class called title. We'll give it a background color of, let's say, like black. Yeah, and if it's black, we want a contrast color for the text, because default color is black. We won't be able to read it then. So we'll say color white, and we'll do a padding of like 30 pixels on all the sides. So it's like clearly shown in the center. Okay, now that's there. So you can keep this text to the side, or you can bring it to the center also. If you want to bring it to the center, what you do is we'll do text align center. That will bring the text to be the center of the page. We can increase the font size because it's the title. So we'll say font size, and we'll put it at like 35 pixels. It's like huge, bigger than normal text. It's clearly visible. Yeah, that's there. Now we'll go to the content. We'll give it a background color of, let's say, light gray. Yeah, so there's a background color of light gray. If you want, you can change the color of the text also to be white, or you can just leave it as black, because it's clear to everyone what that is. Next, we'll do a padding. We'll do 30 pixels on the sides and 30 pixels on this side as well. But what I was thinking was, because there's like really less scroll, we like increase the scroll to like 200 pixels, so there's like a lot of space. So bottom, we put at 200 pixels, and we'll save it. So now I've increased the bottom to be like 200 pixels. So as you scroll down, you'll be able, there's like more space, and you can increase the bottom even more if you want. Next is we'll go to the JavaScript, where you have the button. As you click on it, it's shown, and when you like go down only it's shown. It's not like shown as you on the top itself. So for now, we'll put the button display to be none. We'll do display of none. So you don't see the button now, but you'll see the button as you like slowly move down. So let's like create our JavaScript file. We'll link it to our HTML, so it's like working perfectly there. So as you like update and write your JavaScript, it's shown in your website. So that's why we'll link it right now itself. Script source, hashtag, and script.js. Yes, that's now. Now we'll start by writing our JavaScript. So first thing that we want to do is we want to create that button. We want to access that. So we'll create a variable var button is equal to document.get element by ID. Yeah, get element by ID, and the ID of that button is, you make sure that you don't make any spelling errors. Scroll button, and it has to be in quotes. So that's why I just grab it with the quotes. Now we'll create a function. What the function does is, like let's say now we'll create a function. So what the function does is, let's say you like go like 20 or 30 pixels down, then the button is shown, or else the button is not shown. So we'll create that function. We call it function show button. So 20 or 30 pixels, that's a if statement. So we'll use a if, and we'll say document element dot scroll top. That's an element. It's like it shows that okay, this is how much they've scrolled from the top. And let's say if it's like greater than 25-30 pixels, we'll put at 30. what we want is the button should be shown. So button dot style will access the CSS part of it, and there's a CSS property of display, and we'll put it as block with semicolon. And else, if it's not greater than 30 pixels, we don't want to be shown. So we'll do the button dot style dot display of none. When do you want this function to run? Only when you're scrolling down using your mouse. So how we'll do that is we'll do window dot on scroll. On the scroll of it, we want a function to run. Function in brackets. And what's the function name? It's called show button. Show button. And so that's done. So when you look at your website, you scroll down. If you cross 30 pixels, and then only the button is shown, and it's shown till the bottom. But as you go up, if you are lesser than 30 pixels, it's not shown. Now, by any chance, if this is not shown in your website, it might be because the document element is not recognized by your website. So you might want to try out body instead of document element. If I use body, it will not be shown in Google Chrome. That's for sure. If you're using some other web browsers like Safari or something, body might work instead of document element. So just make sure that you work it out there. Now, what we want to do is that when you click on this top button, it has to go to the top. That's pretty easy. So in the HTML, we had used this on-click top function. So we'll grab that same thing, top function, and we'll write a function out here. We'll say function top function. As you have noticed here, this is what tells the web browser that where it has to be. So we'll just say that when you click on that, it has to go to the 0 pixels. So we'll just do that. We'll say document element scroll top, that should be 0 pixels. So that means that it will go to the top. You save it, and you go in, and okay, now you look at your website. Okay, you're you scroll down, 30 pixels is crossed. Then you have the button, you're reading. Now when you click on this, it will go to the top. Okay, now we are on the top. Now let's say you have a website and it has other links to other pages and all of it. This would be really helpful for the users to go from one page to another. So that's what this idea was, and we have done it. We've created the same thing what many major websites use in their web pages. Now this is easy to make. We just did it with 3 files: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And if you have liked this video, give a like, and if you have any comments regarding this video or the previous videos or upcoming videos, or you want to say some suggestions to me on how to do it, if you have some ideas to pitch in, do leave it in the comment. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do consider subscribing, because we are coming with videos quite often. Thank you for watching this. See you soon.